Hi, boys and girls, and welcome back. You have found your way back to the Carla and Crappy Show just in time for the first round games of the 2025 college football playoff. Carla, we're about to embark upon the same journey that brought a title to my Buckeyes 11 months ago. And this one looks like it's promising. It looks like it could be a lot of fun as well.
Not as fun, not as much fun for me.
Sure. Yes.
Last year I had a rooting interest in this
Yeah.
whole thing, and this year I don't. So it's a little bit different watching the entire playoff as kind of a neutral bystander. So we'll see if I enjoy that. Because I mean, I like that during bowl season. Like it's fun during bowl season. Like you don't care, you're rooting for teams, right? And so we'll see if my perspective on the playoff changes when I don't have an emotional investment in one of the teams in the playoffs. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes this year. But I still wish we were in it.
Well, AJ, this is sort of your perspective for the playoff. You're just looking at this as an observer, no rooting interests. What is your outlook on how this is going to go?
I think this has a lot of fun opportunities. The one thing I dislike is we got 2 rematches.
Yeah.
In the first round, and we'll talk about those in a moment. I dislike that. But there's plenty of intrigue here. Carla, the thing you do, what you do is you put it on and then you just root for whatever the funniest outcome is. That's what I do.
That's what I do when I'm not watching my game. Like that's generally like I got blamed by a number of people this year because people asked me who I was rooting for, and I said chaos after Penn State was out of it, and they were like, "This playoff is your fault," and I was like, "You're welcome."
No, it's my listen, if you don't like what happened in the playoffs, you can blame me. I've been rooting for chaos this whole time. And I find it hilarious. And the fact that Notre Dame didn't get in and Alabama did get in, you're welcome. You can blame me. It's fine.
Okay. We're gonna get it's a new model of Carla and Crappy Show shirt. I cheer for chaos. Would that be good?
That's a good one. We
cheering, hoping, actual outcome.
Which is Crappy, which is funnier because you were in the newsroom in these days when we used to have that when people would come over and ask us who we were rooting for in the sports department, and in unison we would all answer the clock.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we just needed the game to end so that we could get the pages done. So which is funnier, rooting for the clock or rooting for chaos?
I love rooting for the clock. I think that it might be a bit niche for a wider audience.
Yes.
We would sell a hell out of that to folks who have been in the business, for sure. But,
there's definitely people who I think it was Michael Felder, who was at Bleacher Report. He had a running thing for a very long time that he hated the air raid offense because of incomplete passes.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, this game just takes like 7 hours now. Run the ball. Just run the ball. This is why this is why I love option football, because it takes 2 hours and the game's done.
I was running errands on Saturday, and I'm like, oh man, I got to get home, or I'm gonna get home in time to get there for the end of like the first quarter of Army Navy. No, I got home and it was halfway through the second quarter. For that reason.
Yep.
Congratulations, Carla, by the way.
And the sad part is I missed the entirety of that game because I was at commencement.
Okay.
And so like I found out afterwards, I was like, well, maybe I'll catch the end. No, it's the same thing. No, I didn't catch any of that game because it was over. And I was like, whew, Navy held on. Like that was crazy.
Horvath found another gear in the second half, and it just nothing you could do. Nothing you can do.
And then you lost the boat race.
Yes. Yes, you did.
That seems appropriate.
Yeah, it does. We're going to revisit briefly the coaching carousel. And if you thought the Lane Kiffin thing was odd, no. I was ready to joke about this until it became clear that it was not funny.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long for that to happen. AJ, what happened in Ann Arbor?
Well, it was as Crappy just said, it was funny until it wasn't. The news breaks, I believe, like 4 p.m.
Yeah, just thereabouts. I was still at work, and
Like it was like 4:30, something like that. That Michigan fires Sherrod Moore, and everybody went, "Oh no, you lost one game to Ohio State and they canned you. That's crazy." But then it said they fired him for cause. If you are a coach and you are fired at that level, by the way, when you're making $8 million plus a year, you are in a big two job. If you are fired for cause, something has gone super duper wrong. Okay.
Yep.
But no one knew what it was. And then the rumor mill starts churning. And apparently it has been a not terribly well kept secret in Ann Arbor that Sherrod Moore has been in a extramarital affair with one of his staffers. And in this process, one, that is against Michigan's various university codes of conduct. Like you're not allowed to be in a relationship with a subordinate, which this very much was. Mm-hmm. But they couldn't really pin anything because it was like two people doing stuff. What really set this off was it appears, again, allegedly, nothing is confirmed at this time, that the staffer came forward and said, I am in this relationship. And it was basically irrefutable evidence. Like the person who was involved says they're involved. At which point, have either of you ever managed people before?
In very small level. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, small level.
You ever see the HR handbook about how to let someone go? Typically, if you know this is going to be something of a significant firing or something along those lines, you have somebody there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, Ward Manuel fired Sherrod Moore alone, which is like a big deal. Like that is generally not what you're supposed to do.
Nope.
Even in smaller companies that are not paying the head coach, firing the head coach of Michigan, don't do that. Mm. In response, Sherrod Moore has a bit of a mental breakdown and is found at the staffer's home, and the police are called, and the police take Sherrod Moore to jail, where he is basically held in custody in isolation as reported for his own safety because he is gone completely nuts. I will say that for the vast majority of this, remove the football from this, Sherrod Moore was married and has multiple children. Their lives have been detonated off of this, along with the staffer who he was in this extramarital affair with. Her life has been turned upside down. So there's a number of people who are going to have to deal with the outflow of this for quite some time.
Yep.
And now if you look back now, Harbaugh, show caused, he pieced out to the NFL. Connor Stallions, that entire thing. Does anybody remember Michigan had a offensive analyst or coach who was utilizing school resources for downloading pictures of co-eds? That happened. There's like a whole bunch of different, the entire Juwan Howard saga on the basketball side.
I made a note to bring that up because that is part of this pattern.
At no point should Ward Manuel be allowed to make another hire, full stop. Ward Manuel should also be without a job at this current moment.
Yes, I agree 100%. I have heard my whole life about the idea of the Michigan man, and that is a person who stands for something, whose principles are up here. In terms of athletics, it means that we do it the right way. We hire the right people. we take care of the kids, our students first, and it's bullshit, frankly. And you can, if you can see, um, just from, if you take a look at the last decade of athletics at Michigan, it's not hard to figure this out. And if Michigan is serious, apparently there's an external investigation that is going to happen. If Ward Manuel is still employed when that investigation is complete, you will know that Michigan is not serious about this, because that's it needs to change at that level.
There's two things at play here. Number one, Michigan does not have a permanent university president right now.
Right.
Yep.
The university president left, Santa Ono left to try and be he started to be very anti-woke at Michigan, a place famously known for being it's not at all. Left because he was auditioning for the job at the University of Florida. Did not get that job. That is truly the level at which the university presidency at Florida is currently seating, which is a real choice. But two, you can't go back to the Harbaugh tree at all here.
No, you
Right.
can't.
Like, you cannot hire, like, Harbaugh himself, everyone around it, more. The name that keeps getting brought up that I've heard so far is Jesse Minter, who also is sitting on a show cause penalty until I believe May of next year.
Mhm.
So you can't hire him now. Biff Poggi is the interim coach and will be the coach of Michigan probably through whatever the spring game is. Michigan is in a very bad way right now.
Mhm.
And this is a serious situation all the way through. Like, Ward Manuel should not be allowed to make another hire in any part of the Michigan athletics department. I don't care if it's the tennis coach. Like, he should be gone off of everything that's happened here. It is also very funny to know that the moment Michigan actually started cheating, they won a national title. Seems weird.
Hello.
But this is why people outside of Michigan don't like Michigan. You get this high and mighty, we're Michigan men and we do it the right way. Meanwhile, the athletics department is basically rotting from the core out. The current basketball coach for Michigan is like, they tripped and fell into that hire from everything I've heard. That, like, they did not make that hire on purpose. That person just happened to be available and they got him and he's been great. But he is not like the vision of Ward Manuel. Like, this is not great, and I do not expect anyone from the Harbaugh tree to come back out of this. And also, news dropped later on that week is that Ryan Beard, who is the coach at Missouri State, took the job at Coastal Carolina. So that job is now filled. And then we got a surprise retirement.
Is it a retirement, though?
Yeah.
Well, the news was that Kyle Whittingham, the former now head coach at Utah, was stepping down. And everybody went, yep, man, ride it off into the sunset. You've had a great career. Because it's not like Kyle Whittingham is a spry young buck. Let's just say that. Kyle Whittingham has been at Utah longer than you think.
I did not realize he was the guy who took the job after Urban left. And that was a million years ago.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer, who made his name at Utah. Remember, he went from Utah to Florida to Ohio State. All the way through that.
Yeah.
He leaves Utah. Kyle Whittingham takes over and has been there ever since. And he steps down, ? And they put Morgan Scalley, who was the defensive coordinator, basically like he was the coach in waiting, and they made him the head coach. This feels very much like a Do you guys remember the Mac Brown, Will Muschamp situation where
Yes.
Will Muschamp was basically the head coach and
Yeah.
waiting at Texas, and they were basically just waiting for Mac to leave, and Mac's like, well, I'm gonna stick around a little bit longer, y'all. And Will never got the chance, so he leaves Texas to go take the job at Florida.
Right.
This feels like a very similar situation. Like Morgan Scalley was getting probably some heat in the coaching circles around all of these various,
Yeah.
firings and stepping downs and that sort of thing, that basically said, like, look, you either make me the head coach or I'm going somewhere else. And they said, hey, yeah, it's probably time. But almost immediately afterwards, it's floated like Kyle never said he retired. He just said he was done at Utah.
Yeah.
Which is insanity. But if like I'm not going, I don't want to speak this into existence for my good friend Crappy.
Okay.
But there's a certain job that's open in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
Would you like Michigan to go back to Bag of Hammers, Michigan? Would you like Mike Hart to return from his exile? By the way, anybody know where Mike Hart is right now?
Last I knew, he was a coach at Eastern, but
That is correct.
Is that still the case?
He is still, I believe he's either the OC or the running backs coach at Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
He didn't go very far. He crossed whatever that is, 26.
Ypsilanti. It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He never beat Ohio State though. I will have you know. But yeah, to see Kyle in Ann Arbor, I was going to ask each of you, who do you think that's going to be? And I mean, it so easily could happen. And
Well, when they were initially like Sharon Moore was, I don't want to say on the hot seat entering the season. He wasn't like not that hot, but there was like hey, if you don't like turn this around a little bit, we're going to start really having some conversations. Also, I don't think that played into this at all. I really don't. I think this was truly this was a separate situation. The name that was always floated for the Michigan job is new Penn State head coach Matt Campbell for years. Like the moment the Michigan job opens, that's Matt Campbell's job. Mm-hmm. And to know that Penn State hired him and he doesn't get the job at Michigan, Michigan's kind of like, oh crap, now what do we do? Because everybody's in place. Mm-hmm. By the way, total number of coaches who turned over is 32. 32 different jobs opened. And there was a joke that Carla and I were talking about earlier this season of Stephen Godfrey, friend of the program, coming up with an idea to somehow open 40 jobs. Yeah. We're at 32. Mm-hmm. And two of them are still open right now, and one of them is Michigan. Mm-hmm. So you theoretically could open another 3 or 4 if you'd like to.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is this has been a wild carousel. Chris Kleeman stepped down, mm-hmm. Chris Kleeman retired, mm-hmm. and allegedly the story was that he like called Colin Klein himself and said, Colin, Mama's calling. And Colin Klein said, you got it. And he's going to coach Texas A&M through the playoff because he's the OC at Texas A&M right now. And then he is going to go to Kansas State. Kansas State turned down a bowl bid off of that. Same with Iowa State. Both of them were fined $500,000 for not taking their presumptive bowl spots.
Ouch.
But yeah, that one was interesting. Washington State immediately loses their coach to Iowa State. Jimmy Rogers, former South Dakota State head coach, replaces Matt Campbell at Iowa State, basically because he's been texting the AD like nonstop for 7 years. They apparently have had like a very close relationship since his time at South Dakota State. And it was basically like hey, Matt's leaving. You want in? And he was like, absolutely. And so he's leaving Wazoo after 1 year to go coach at Iowa State, where he's returning back to his ancestral home of the frozen tundra of the Midwest. So, yeah, this is a lot going on right now. But we have some other games to talk about.
We do. We have 4 games. this weekend from 1 Friday night and 3 on Saturday. And these are the games that we need to get into the college football playoff. And if y'all are ready, let's do these games. To begin, number 9, Alabama at number 8, Oklahoma. This is at 8 p.m. on Friday night, is on the American Broadcasting Company. Alabama, on the road, is favored by 1.5. That's the parlance for like, what is it, 3 points for being at home, and then you just kind of squish those numbers together. The over under, AJ, I'm sorry, but it's 40.5 points.
Disgusting.
Oh.
At least we didn't get down into the 30s. Carla, how is this one going to go?
That's just gonna be the game temperature. It's gonna be real cold now in Oklahoma, in Norman on Friday night. So we saw this game earlier this season. This is one of our rematches that we have in the first round, and this was the matchup that put Oklahoma on the map again, right? Because they lost Red River. And so everyone just kind of like forgot about Oklahoma for a bit. And then they go to Bryant-Denny and win. And immediately everyone goes, huh? Did that just happen? Because Bama was on the rise at that point, right? We were talking about a potential Heisman candidate coming out of Alabama, and like that Bama was going to be right back into the thick of things. And Oklahoma goes in and says, hi, we're here too. And makes a huge statement in Bryant-Denny. We saw Alabama in championship weekend. And there's one thing consistently about Alabama that we have seen is that when Alabama goes up against these tough defenses, they do not have an answer.
Yeah.
They do not have an answer. Georgia was able to shut them down, right? That Georgia defense is real good. It's not necessarily the scary good Georgia defenses that we have seen out of years past where you're just like, oh God, you don't want to play them. They do have weaknesses, but man, when they step up, they step up.
They do. And
they stepped up to win that SEC title game. Because if y'all remember, I picked Bama in that game. And it was because of the Georgia defense. They didn't do a ton offensively in that game. I mean, they scored points, but they didn't have to because their defense was so good.
A few.
Oklahoma has an amazing defense. We saw that in Tuscaloosa earlier this season, and now they got to play at their place. That's the reason why this fun index is so low, is because that's the Oklahoma defense. I'm not sure Bama has an answer, even with the extra little bit of time here, because guess who's had more time because they didn't play in a title game? Oklahoma.
Right.
We saw the value in last year in the home team, in the home playoff game. Boomer Sooner. I think Oklahoma kicks Alabama out of the playoff this year.
Okay. AJ, what do you think?
This game's going to be disgusting. Just absolutely gross. This game,
Hammer the under?
Yes. When you said this game it didn't get into the 30s, it certainly won't. This game's going to barely get into the 20s. Disgusting. Absolutely gross. This is on national TV, and it's an abomination to good God-fearing people. It's going to be on ABC. The entire country can watch this.
Yes.
Ew. And it's the only game on Friday night.
Yes.
Yeah, you get this on Friday night. Wait, hold on. I did see this. There's something else on Friday night. I don't remember.
Well, there's bowl games that lead into it, but
yeah, there is. I'll have to find that. No, that is. I literally was just looking at it and said, "Oh, hey, here's the
Gasparilla Bowl leads into it, kind of."
Oh, with the great music, right? I will say that there is a chance that either John Mateer makes this super fun, or we watch two quarterbacks just try their best, and I'm leaning towards the latter.
Okay.
I think if Oklahoma can just hold down the Alabama offense like Georgia did, this might be just kind of hold hold them back, and you just got to score like 13 points, and you got it.
Georgia did, I think.
Georgia scored 27.
Oh no, I was thinking of a different game. My fault.
Oh yeah, no, the original Oklahoma game, they scored like if you go back and look at that box score, the Alabama Oklahoma game, Alabama had all kinds of yards. They just put no points on the board.
Yep.
The Oklahoma offense didn't do anything. I don't know if John Mateer's hand is any better, but he was getting runs off in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Boomer Sooner. Hype crowd, Bama coming to town, night game in Norman. No, I'm taking Oklahoma out of here.
Okay. I'm thinking about just kind of reactions and motivation, and if this game was being played at a neutral site, I would think long and hard about picking Alabama. The stuff that happened to them, the inconsistency, that was a season-long thing. Getting embarrassed in the title game, that's the sort of thing that will actually just crush a team, or get it so it's suddenly thinking seriously about how we play, how we do things, and moving forward, this is how it's going to be. We are going to correct these problems. The unfortunate thing for the Tide is that this is not at a neutral site, and Norman is not a nice, Norman at night especially, not a nice place for visitors. Oklahoma's defense is good enough to put the same kind of hold on Alabama's offense that Georgia was able to. I don't see, as you guys have mentioned, I don't see Oklahoma scoring in that same manner. Mateer, it's the hair on fire, inconsistent offense. It can be very, very good and insane, or it can be, but I think it'll be enough. I think Mateer and his crew will cobble together just enough offense to put Alabama to rest and advance.
Worth noting before we switch games.
Yes.
I just did a quick look on total defense.
Yeah.
Georgia ranked 13th in the nation total defense. Guess who's ranked number 9?
Oklahoma's been up there all season.
Yep.
And that's actually, they would have been higher ranked, I think.
They were earlier. They were like number 3 for a long time. Yeah. And then when they went through kind of their up and down in the middle of the season, that knocked them down. But
okay.
Yep. Tougher defense than Georgia.
Okay. That we can see a pattern here. At noon on Saturday, this apparently is on both ABC and ESPN. There are a couple of arrangements like that that we will get to here. The number 10 Miami Hurricanes visiting the number 7 Texas A&M Aggies. Texas A&M's favored by 3.5 points at home. Over under is 50.5. AJ, how is this? How do you see this one?
Well, when you have the ACC champion, was Miami the ACC champion?
Actually, no.
Huh. Weird. Yeah. Anyways, this is a battle of two teams that beat Notre Dame. So
they got that going for them.
They do have that. The two teams that beat Notre Dame this year, distinctly and by a total of 4 points, are now going to play a playoff game to see who is the best team at beating Notre Dame. I look at this game. I find it very interesting that they put this one at noon. I figured they would have moved this one down to like 3:30. But making people play at noon in Lubbock is rude and gross, I guess. This one's very interesting because you have Texas A&M is getting basically like an extra half point. Like we mentioned earlier, home teams are like just guaranteed -3. That's how it generally works. So like Texas A&M is favored by half a point at home on top of their normal home field advantage. I need to see which A&M shows up, because there have been moments this season where they like half of the game they're not there. Like the South Carolina game, there were a few other games where it was like they were kind of there in the first half, and then all of a sudden the second half they go, oh right, we're Texas A&M. and off
Mm-hmm.
they go.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen against Texas. They didn't get the chance to. Texas basically held them, basically kept the offense off the field in the second half. And that allowed them to not let Texas A&M get back into the game. If Miami can jump out to an early lead, this is potentially interesting, but they're going to need to keep that going. I'm taking the Aggies at home. This is Mario Cristobal in a big moment. Those don't go well. I'm taking the Aggies.
That's an excellent point. Carla, how do you see this one?
That is an excellent point. That one that I hadn't thought of, but yeah, you're absolutely right there. Story time.
Please.
Last year, we saw a team that went undefeated in the regular season and then lost their final game of the season to their rival.
Huh.
Ended up having a home playoff game because of it, because they got knocked out of the top 4.
That's unfortunate.
And then played like their hair was on fire in the playoff.
I like this story. This is interesting.
And won themselves a national title.
Oh,
those ones.
these.
Yeah, that national title.
That one.
And so I look at the 2024 Ohio State Buckeyes and say, hello, 2025 Texas A&M Aggies. It is the same story.
Okay.
And so what I am looking at right now is, are they going to come out with their hair on fire? Right? Because they got embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
by their rival. That was the last time we saw them. What has Mike Elko done in that locker room since that game? Are they going to come out here and say, no, we should have been in the top 4. We actually are the best team in the SEC. And we're going to go on a run. Right? And if that's the mindset that Mike Elko has this team in, playing at home in Kyle Field, Aggies are going to run all over the Canes if that happens. But as AJ pointed out, that's a huge if. Mm-hmm. That's a huge if, because the Aggies, at the end of the season, they've been up and down. We all saw the South Carolina game.
Yeah.
We all saw that game.
We all saw Texas A&M. Everyone watched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the game that everyone went, what? And we all flipped over to that game, right?
Yep.
So what can Miami do? You made a great point about Mario Cristobal there, right? Like, do we trust Mario Cristobal in tight games on the road? If you look at where their losses were this season, the answer to that question is no. They lost at SMU. They lost at Louisville.
You lost it. You lost at Texas A&M Junior, Mario. Settle down.
Right? And so to me, it's like, okay, as long as A&M comes out and says, no, this is our game, they're going to win. I'm going to take the Aggies at home. But it'll be real interesting to see how this all plays out. But I think the pick here is the Aggies. And then if they get hot, we know how well they play when they get hot.
What does anybody, I'm looking at the bracket right now. Does anybody know what would happen if they were to get hot and go to their next game? What game would that be?
They would be playing Ohio State.
Where are they playing?
In Dallas, I believe.
Or Dallas.
Arlington, whatever. Yeah.
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 Well, that could be fun.
We travel well. That's fine.
Anyways, they got direct flights from Columbus, but not as direct as whatever it was.
No.
It's not I-10.
No.
Whatever this, the I-35.
Would there be 35? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's right. I do think the Canes catch a break here, and that this is not a full on night game.
That's true.
That it is noon. I don't know if Aggie fans are just kind of insane enough on their own that they can get to that sort of level that they get to without much pregame lubrication. I don't know, but I know it would be much tougher proposition. And I'm actually serious about this. If this game kicked off at 8 p.m. Rather than at noon, neither of these teams, other than beating Notre Dame, neither of these teams have been the model of consistency. You guys have been through the records. I look at I look at the talent that Miami has. I try not to think a whole lot about the handicap that their head coach appears to be in situations like this. And I wonder if there is history, just a little bit of history here, in that Miami is the first team to win a road first round playoff game. I don't have faith in Mario. I don't have faith in Miami's quarterback. Super talented, wildly inconsistent. I am actually working this out in my brain as we're talking here. I'm gonna just barely pick Texas A&M to win this game at home. Miami can be good, but they are just a step away from getting there, I think. Next up at 3:30 p.m. This is another television situation. TNT, HBO Max, True TV, or if you have three televisions, you can just watch the game on three different networks if you would like to do that. Number 11, Tulane at Ole Miss. The Rebels are ranked number sixth, or the sixth seed, excuse me. Ole Miss is favored by 17.5 points. The over-under is 56.5. Obviously, this one is super interesting because of the other bizarre coaching thing that happened over the course of the season. AJ, how's this going to go?
Yeah, I mean, we were all looking to see where John Summerall was going to end up
I know,
at the end of the season.
And I was frankly stunned that
that he ended up in Florida. This is the part that I am fascinated by, because you've made it this far, but the guy who's calling the offense is not there. He's in Baton Rouge now. I don't remember what, there was an OC. His name is Charlie Weiss Jr. Yeah, the junior of Charlie Weiss. Noted person who was bad at Notre Dame. Hey, Notre Dame, did you remember Charlie Weiss? Sorry to double down on making you feel bad. We're talking, sorry, triple down. We're talking about the playoff but not in it. Pete Golding's run an incredible defense this year. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to pick Tulane.
Okay.
In Oxford to win the first road playoff game.
Okay.
This game happened earlier this season, and it was not close.
No.
Not at all. But Trinidad Chambliss does not have Lane calling the plays. He's got Charlie Weiss Jr. calling the plays. This is not the same team. There's been too many distractions over the last few months. And I feel like this is the opportunity for a G5 team to get a home playoff team. That's why this feels that way. Mm-hmm. Last year that did not feel that way, but this year with Boise, Boise was different because the last year was the weird seeding where the highest ranked conference champions got the spot, and so Boise got the home game in the Fiesta Bowl against Carlos, Penn State, right?
Yep.
I'm taking Tulane here.
Okay.
This feels like the moment.
Okay.
The other G5 team that's in this does not feel like it's going to be that moment. So
a moment.
We'll get to them in a second.
Another moment of a different sort. Carla.
This is fascinating to me because it's like these are two completely opposite situations. Because you have the Ole Miss situation, Lane jets off in the middle of the night, just because, we joke about him getting left up the tarmac. But he savored all the attention, but it was all about him. And now he's in Louisiana. He's at LSU. And how do his players feel? That's the piece that we don't know. Are they out to say, because depending on who you read and what word you got from players after Lane leaves, some of them allegedly from reports were angry and said, we're going to go out and win ourselves a national title without him. Right. And so that's what I'm waiting to see is how motivated is Ole Miss to spite their ex-coach. Right? Because on the other sideline, you have the complete opposite situation with a John Sumrall who is going to Florida, who has already donated like a bunch of money to the NIL at Tulane on his way out the door. Like so many thought pieces over the course of the last week have been like, if you're leaving a job, look at what John Sumrall is doing. He's doing absolutely everything the right way. And so you have these kids on this team who are playing with a coach who is not going to be their coach next year unless they portal to Florida. And do they want to win one last one for him? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, which motivating factor is higher here? Is it on the sideline of Tulane trying to win one while they've got one last shot together? Or on the sideline of Ole Miss saying, to hell with Lane, we're going to go win without him? I don't know. It's a fascinating game. It's going to be absolutely fascinating, especially in that first quarter as these two teams are feeling each other out. Like, who's playing with what emotion? AJ, I kind of like your pick here.
Ooh, okay.
I kind of like your pick here. Like, win one for the Gipper is a thing. It's a thing. And I feel like they're going to have the momentum, the way that they won when we all saw the end of the conference title game, right? And how excited they were. And that was after Summerall had already been named the head coach at Florida.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
They were excited. They were hugging each other. They were like, let's go do this. What the heck?
Okay.
I'm rooting for chaos. Give me Tulane in Oxford. Just for sillies.
Okay. I will be rooting for chaos. The psychological aspect of this game is what makes it really, really interesting. And everything that just spelled out, how do players react? How does that translate to the field? We've seen this game relatively recently. How is it going to be different this time? I think it is going to be different this time. I think it's going to be somewhere there's the point in the middle where the emotions balance each other out. I think Tulane is going to be in a much better position to win a game this time around. I think this is a situation where the horses are stronger and faster at Ole Miss. Rooting for the Green Wave? Yes, absolutely, 100%. But I see Ole Miss winning in an uncomfortably tight game for this one. Our fourth game at 7:30 p.m. also on the TNT HBO Max True TV trifecta. Number 12 James Madison at number 5 Oregon. The line in lovely Autzen Stadium is Oregon by 21 points. The over-under is 47.5. Carla, tell us why we should watch this game.
Because we got Jimmy to the playoff.
Absolutely. And that was something all three of us were rooting for.
We were rooting for that real hard. And I still think one of my favorite lasting images of conference title night was at the ACC title game when they kept going to like the 3 JMU fans in the stands. like we got Dukes rooting for Duke. And it happened. And to see them make the playoff is huge for a G5 team.
It's awesome.
Unfortunately, they're getting sent all the way across the country to play the one team that actually matches up with their offense really, really well. I mean, they match up really well against their style of play. I hope Jimmy covers. I don't know if they are, but I'm going to pull for that. I'd like to see them make a good showing here because that's the one disappointing thing about this. There's a lot of people that I really respect in the industry still. who were writing pieces about this is why we shouldn't let group of 5 teams in the playoff. And I was like, no, 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 no. Did we all see what happened in the FCS? That's the reason you let group of 5 teams into the playoff, because you can get these monumental upsets. Do I think it's going to happen in this game? No. Should we write off the group of 5 forever because James Madison is getting shipped to Eugene? Hell no.
No.
That's what makes this fun. Group of 5 teams deserve a shot at this. They earned their way in, but the Ducks are going to win at home, and it's going to be pretty easy.
Okay. AJ, what do you think?
To the various dweebs who say that you should not have G5 teams in the playoff, I bet you go to March Madness and just pick all the 1 seeds to win. Shut up. Stop.
Yep.
You play the games for a reason. You don't get March Madness without lower seed teams who should not be beating these teams winning these games.
Right.
That's how this works.
That.
Like Duke losing to some
UMBC.
I could we can name them like Valpo, Weber State beating North Carolina, Weber State beating Duke,
Loyola, all the way to the Final Four.
Like VCU, George Mason, all of those things that make the March Madness tournament what it is and the magic of that tournament, why people tune in every year, and you just want to put in another SEC team. Shut up. Stop. Jamie's losing by a lot. I mean, this is one of those things where like Dan Lanning is a what's the word I want to use here? Maniac. That's the word I want to use here.
Yes.
He's also shrewd as hell.
He's shrewd. He knows that like this is the type of game that he's probably like extra amping the team up, like going way beyond what he would do in a normal week. Because he knows this is the type of game where you are like, it's James Madison, bro. Why are we going so hard? This isn't like it's Ohio State or anything. It is in the playoff. They are going to be coming for you. This is their shot.
Yeah.
You might be here next year. They probably won't be. This is their shot. They're going to give you the best one. Like this is the hype speech he's giving them.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine a coach like Dan Lanning having a slip up mentally here. This is the type of thing that he lives for. Like he's the type of coach very much in the Kirby Smart. I mean, he came from Georgia, but this is part of like the Kirby Smart realm of like, believe in us. Everybody believed in you, Kirby. Everyone. But like amping your team up more and more and more when you know they need it more than you should. Yeah, I'm taking the Ducks here. I will say,
yes,
if the Ducks win, we get Oregon and Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl.
Oh,
yes, please. I will take this. I will take these two. Listen, I want G5 teams in the playoff, but Oregon Texas Tech is a very fun game. I want to put my eyeballs on.
Yes. That is perhaps one we will get to. Yes,
I will say, AJ, I agree with everything that you said about Dan Lanning. But I also hold up in my other hand the 2025 Rose Bowl.
That's
right,
fair.
Right? Like I 100% agree with you because trust me, I've watched Dan Lanning coach against my Knits twice now, right? And I know the way. You're absolutely right. But then he either didn't do that enough or it didn't work last year in the Rose Bowl against the Buckeyes because they got steamrolled.
This was actually something that was brought up as part of various playoff previews this year. Of Oregon last year had a problem with the deep pass, and
they don't.
They don't this year.
Nope.
And last year, that was when Ryan Day went, "Oh right, I have a Jeremiah Smith, and a Will Howard,
good guy, yeah."
And he just said, "Oh, just ball goes there."
And Emeka Buka, yeah,
and Emeka Buka, who is currently tearing it up in the NFL. Like this is. He remembered he had toys to use. And they took advantage of that. Do I think this is necessarily going to be a repeat of last year in the Rose Bowl? Probably not. But this is the sort of game where a coach like Dan Lanning like extra hypes his guys up for no reason, just because he knows he has to, where you get the mental slips. Mario Cristobal would not do that. Yeah, Mario, I'm taking extra shots. I don't think you're a good coach. You're a wonderful recruiter. Nobody should allow you to see a clock. Crappy. Who you got here?
I love we cheered. We wanted this to happen. We wanted to get Jimmy Madison in the playoff. We did, and I am thrilled for them. It is not so thrilling for them that they have to travel thousands of miles to play in one of the toughest buildings in the country. I believe they say it never rains in Autzen, but it's going to pour on the Dukes. That was terrible. I shouldn't have done that. Boys and girls.
But listen,
Yeah,
if Duke had made the Dukes Mayo Bowl, you would have had Dukes cheering for Duke, and then Duke goes to the Dukes, and then Duke could have had Dukes poured on their Duke.
If we had Duke versus the Dukes in the Dukes, how? Okay, we have
Duke of Mayo. Duke.
We have a
Duke
project.
of Mayo.
We have a project for next year already.
Get James Madison to play Duke in the Dukes Mayo Bowl.
Yeah. That is.
By the way, the Dukes Mayo Bowl this year is Wake Forest and Mississippi State. So,
boys and girls, you can hear the Carla and Crappy Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and a variety of other podcasting hosts. You can watch us on YouTube and on the show's Facebook page. You can read us on our Substack. If you like us, please subscribe, rate, and review. And if you don't, mind your own damn business. Be sure to not next week. But at some point we'll be talking about the semifinal games. I don't recall exactly when this is going to happen. I could look at the calendar up here, but at another point, we will be talking about Bowlapalooza, which should be out by now, but having to do with some technical difficulties, it's going to be out later. So you're going to get a whole mess of Carla and Crappy Show stuff here in the next few days. But this is when you overdose on college football. So, no big deal, right? Guys, do you have any final thoughts? AJ?
Currently, Troy is leading Jacksonville State 10-7 in the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl.
Thank you.
In a well-attended game.
Okay.
I think we have some really good bowl matchups. We did talk about them, and we're going to go through those on the Bowlapalooza episode. But I think this is a great time of year. Just put a game on. There's going to be something on pretty much every day from now until after New Year's. Yep. So do that. It'll be fun.
You should 100% do that. Carla?
Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, hoo-ha. Also on Saturday, if you're looking at your TV and you're saying to yourself, AJ, this Tulane Ole Miss game is not going as well as you want it to, and you're sad and you're wondering, dang, what should I be doing with my time right now? The answer, friends, is at 4 p.m., and I want to make sure I get my network right because I need to direct you.
It's on ABC.
Direct your eyeballs. It is on ABC. Brawl of the Wild 2 in the FCS semifinals is at 4 p.m. on ABC because ESPN and whatever deity you believe in decided to put Montana and Montana State football on national television. And that is why we know that the deities above are real. You get that at 4 p.m. Montana State's favored by 4. That is Montana State is at home. The earlier version of this game this year, the act during rivalry week was the other way around. Montana State went to Montana. So we're getting a home and home mid-season. Also at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2, Illinois State, they of upsetting North Dakota State. They won their quarterfinal game. Going to Philadelphia to play Villanova. Villanova is hosting an FCS semifinal game.
That's
and
crazy.
the Noves are favored by, I'm calling them the Noves. We'll go with this. The Noves are favored by 1.5 at home. We have some actual good FCS semifinals. I will say, Illinois State and Villanova, you're playing for the chance to get fed to a Montana school. Sorry.
Although going into that tournament, we would have said the same thing about pretty much any Dakota. And how many Dakotas are left?
There are no Dakotas
There
left.
are no Dakotas left.
All the Dakotas lost. There are no a Dakota school will not take home the FCS title this year, which means they will be so mad next year. So mad.
There is that.
Okay. But this is finally we're going to get a new FCS champion, which is wonderful, and you should watch that. I believe is D2 D3 finishing up.
They should be.
Should be.
I don't have them on my calendar right now. Yeah.
The D2 championship is this Saturday at 4 p.m. on ESPN2, and we have ourselves a banger. Number 1 Harding University against number 1 Ferris State. They are tied for first in the rankings in D3.
Wow.
So actually, I think they're just seeds.
Yeah.
Both of those teams are 15-0.
Oof. Okay.
Now, ask yourself this question, Crappy. How D3 schools, their football stadium is not terribly big, right?
I mean, it's like a high school building where I grew up. So yeah, I'm not a super big thing at all.
Okay, so the D3 National Championship played between Harding University and Ferris State, two very good football teams. A reminder that this is D2, sorry, not D3, D2. Ferris State, formerly Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback of Ole Miss. That's where he played last year. They're back in the national championship game, in case you're wondering if they reloaded. They did. This game is being played at McKinney ISD Stadium, which is a high school stadium in Texas.
There you go.
A very nice one from what I understand, but it is that. And in the D3 semifinals, we have Johns Hopkins University, the medical one in Baltimore, going to Wisconsin River Falls, a UW branch school. And that'll be on ESPN Plus at 1 p.m. And at 4:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus, you get John Carroll at North Central in the other D3 semifinal. Mount Union lost in the first round, which is something they've been doing a lot lately, going undefeated in the regular season and then losing in the playoffs. So a lot of other games.
North Central, I believe, is the defending D3 champ.
The reigning and defending D3 national champions. They are very, very good at the whole D3 football thing. They are based in Naperville, Illinois. So Chicago does have a college football team that can win.
Hey.
Yeah, this is a good weekend, and then you'll get D3 championship next weekend. Yeah, this is a good weekend. Keep an eye, like, just because if the big games aren't that fun, just put these on.
There's you still have options.
There are options.
Still have options. Carla, any final thoughts from you?
Well, I was going to talk FCS because obviously the bracket that we picked is completely blown up at this point. However, Montana State, we had that.
Ooh, okay.
Sure did.
We had that. And so I haven't gotten updates on rankings. Last I knew, we were in the middle of the pack. But because we have the Montana State, I don't know where that puts us in the rankings in that pool right now. But I don't think anybody has a national champion left. Okay. So that's in our favor.
I mean, that could be a situation like, an upset in the basketball tournament is the kind of thing. It's really upsetting because it screws up your bracket, but it screwed up everybody's bracket.
Right.
Not having Dakotas moving on. Who's realistically gonna pick that?
Right.
So hopefully you guys, do I get credit for this?
In absentia, yes.
Okay, that's how that works. I'll take
that. So hopefully by the next time we record for the CFP CFP quarters.
Quarters, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we record for the CFP quarters, I will have a final update on the bracket because I'm pretty sure everybody's out after this round.
Okay. So. Okay. Excellent. I had my office. Christmas, we had lunch and did a white elephant gift exchange. Then just talking with some of the folks I work with, and you ask, what are you going to do over the winter break? Which starts for us next week. And I'm just like, I am going to do nothing. I am going to sit on my couch, and I'm going to watch every single college football game I can get my hands on. And my new boss, who is he's not my immediate boss, but our new assistant vice president, is a college football guy, and he's like, yes. So that's my plan, guys. That should be your plan as well. There's whenever you listen to this podcast, there's probably going to be a college football game on. Turn it on. then we've got these playoff games. We've got bowl games through the whole week, and then next week it is bowl mass big, all of the games, and it's going to be fantastic. So watch you some college football. Hope you guys get a little time off and enjoy the season. And we will talk to you again soon. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, people, yeah, people.